my wonderful husband is going to help out, and he's making something for me to make samples for my loom. So this is actually a Reese construct and a weaving video at the same time. You can actually buy
twice as entertaining that way.
Sample makers for, I've seen them around $60. They're beautiful, they're well made, but one of the things that I particularly like about this hobby is that it's very hands-on. And so Reese offered to try and make something for me, and I always really appreciate that. So basically what we're doing is went to big box store. This is a tray, and Reese has marked out, and I'll bring the camera in afterwards, enough points to give me, we're going to put some nails in it so that I can weave yarn back and forth and weave a sample of what I want to do. So I'm going to now go behind the camera and let Reese have at it. Thank you very much, honey.
So the tools that we're using here, I'm a really big tool guy. I'm like Tim the Tool Man, except I'm really not good at it. I'm like a person who's pretending not to be good at it. So what we've done here, take this off for a second. So this...
Hang on, let me bring that down a little bit because we got your face. There we go. Let's bring it down so we can see what you're pointing at. There we go.
This right here is a vise. My grandfather had vices. I always wanted a vise. I've never been to Miami, so I couldn't have a Miami vise. And anyway, it's an extremely handy thing. You can just attach it to whatever you want. I've attached it here. It's not as tight as I normally have it in my workbench because I don't want to destroy this. And this is a box I picked up because I'm not very good at woodworking, and so I didn't really want to have to do, with this light wood, a box like this. What I've done for the first side is I've marked out, you got some eraser marks here, but I've marked out the places I want to put the nails.
I'm going to bring this in a little bit so you can see.
And the nails are going to be pegs, basically. And we're going to use finishing nails for it. Those are really hard to use without smacking your finger.
We're going to try not to today.
So I'm going to use another of my grandfather's inventions. These are just needle nose pliers. They're old needle nose pliers, but goodness sake, they come in handy. And they have for him and for me for decades.
And then a trusty hammer.
Trusty hammer. I got to be careful not to injure this because this is really light wood. Got the hair in it.
Probably mine.
So I think I'll mark this side next. So we can see how I marked that up, I guess.
Okay. So,
in case you want to make one of these for your honey.
I'm going to bring it up a little bit so we can see what you're doing. Don't need the vise in the picture. There we go.
Now I had that fairly high on it, but not too high. So, I'm such a tool guy that I actually used an electric pencil sharpener a few minutes ago to get this going.
That's what I was
Everything's got to be,
downstairs.
like Tim the Tool Man. I'm marking these. This is divided into, what, 1/8 of an inch. And so every 1/8 I'm putting another mark. This is boring. We'll probably speed this up in the real video. But that's okay. I'll use my fast motion theme. I'm so proud of it.
And then people will be super impressed at how quickly you can mark that.
Indeed. I don't think it's necessary to get them exactly straight. Like, it's a good thing, but they're not really totally, absolutely straight here. Like, there's a little bit of variance.
That's okay.
The reason I think it's okay is any variance is just going to help get the thread around it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And this is just for making samples. It's not for a finished product at all. This is strictly so that I can test theories on color and different yarn weights and make it so that I can do a sample of things before I put it on the loom. Because sometimes our greatest ideas, when you get them on the loom, you hate them. It's it's called having a dog on the loom. And of course, as soon as I said that, my dog looked at me. And so it just basically stops it from having to waste a lot of yarn, because then you take it off and you cut it off and there's a whole lot of throwing out, and it's just all bad. Yeah, that's going to be a good height.
So I can tap it in a little bit with fingers, then a little bit with the pliers.
I think you might regret it if you tap it with your fingers in place. But that's you. They're your fingers.
Huh. I missed the mark altogether. Cut it from the side so I can actually see what I'm doing.
I think you've almost got it through. He's being super gentle because he's trying not to put the nail all the way through the wood, just to have it almost through the wood, so we don't have, sharp bits on the inside.
Once I get the height established with one nail, then we'll be good for the rest of them.
On each side.
Yeah.
Because there's visual difference then.
Yeah. I could tape a nail on there.
That's pretty spot on.
Needs to go a little bit further, I think. Or maybe not.
Touch the bottom.
I'm not trying to nail it all the way through at all. Okay. I'm trying to just get it down to about this height, which leaves the nail a bit there.
Okay.
You can see it's just the head of the nail.
Yeah.
But all I really need to get down, about a nail head length. I get the first one established right, and that's perfect. Get the first one established right, then we have them all set for the next one, next one, next one. Hit this one.
That one's further down than the rest of them.
Yeah, maybe some that are through. So one side is done, and as I went along, I started to slip them in a bit angled, which will make it easier for them to hold the thread. So you learn something every time you do something, and that's what I learned about this. It might be nicer to come up like that. Also, I went through with some, and you just tap them out through the back. I got a splinter there, but other than that, it'll be okay. And now I'm just going to turn it upside down in the vise, and start over on the next side, and hope I don't split the wood at any point while I'm nailing this all together. And you've probably noticed in the fast motion section that it slipped occasionally, because I don't want to. I could smash this with the vise very easily, but I'm being careful not to. So here goes, side 2. Okay. We're finally done. We'll see if this works for Carin. No sooner had I finished than something bad happened. The very light wood cracked on the back when we were looking it over. So I have put it in the vise again and put on liquid nails over the crack, and we'll see if that saves it. Okay, it's the next day and we're still having fallout from the crack that happened. I've put liquid nails on there and left it in the vise overnight. But this morning I took it, picked it up, and picked out nails that were no longer solid in the box. And there's a pile of them right there. So what I'm going to do about that is put it back in the vise again. Apply Elmer's glue to the ends of these nails and put them back in, and hope that they will stay this time. Otherwise, this experiment may have failed. So here we are a few hours later, and awful snaggletooth thing. But with the glue, the nails aren't coming out. So we shall see if the box has utility or not. And we're done with it.
Hey all. This is the completed project of Reese making me a sampler, and we wanted to show it to you strung so you can see what we're doing, or what I'm doing once it's actually created. Now that all the nails are nice and secure, I can string it, and then I can create a small version or take my ideas that I'd like to put on the big loom and make them small so that I don't string it on the big loom and go, oh, I hate it, and start over again. So I can start here, get my ideas down, and then make my decisions before I put it on the big loom. So for this one, it is actually a wedding gift. The bride's colors are navy blue and gold. For anything that's in gold, it's going to be scratchy, so we went with just a nice contrasting color. And excuse my voice, I am quite sick, so in the next couple of days I'm going to make a decision on how I'm going to actually string this, as to whether which color contrast I like better and how I'm going to make this happen. I don't make decisions while I have an addled brain while I'm ill.
How about you guys, if you have any preference, put it in the comments below.
Yeah, we could do that. I'm game. Yeah, so these are some options. We could take the center one out and go navy all the way across. What are your thoughts? Thank you so much, and this works really well. It's a simple way to make a sample project.